What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another video bringing you the latest information on Bayonetta 3 on the Nintendo Switch. Sorry for any background noise or crappy audio that I do have. I don't have my full setup, but we will be covering Bayonetta 3 as information drops. I wanted to go over some of the information that wasn't said in the direct, that was in a write-up, and also give you guys a little bit more of an analysis on what I saw. Before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe if you're someone new and click that notification bell to get my videos first. Now this message comes from Bayonetta 3 director Yusuke Miyata on the game. Hello everyone, this is Yusuke Miyata, the director of Bayonetta 3. We've kept you waiting for a very long time, but I'm very happy that we've finally been able to bring you a new trailer. This is my first time working on the Bayonetta series, but just like you all, I'm a big fan and played the previous games nonstop. After being tapped to direct, I, of course, not only played through the previous games again, but also read every Bayonetta related book there is cover to cover before getting into deep discussions with Kamiya-san about every aspect of the game, from systems to settings, before getting to work. One of the biggest draws of Bayonetta games is the mysterious and alluring character of Bayonetta herself, as well as that of the entourage of unique characters that surrounds her. I've worked on the development of several character games, and I used that experience to the fullest to bring out the charms of Bayonetta and the game. I'm also being extremely discerning about the action, which is essential to Bayonetta series. Kamiya-san has almost literally talked my ear off about the action connected directly to the brain. Basically, that's the type of satisfying action gameplay that comes from being able to control the character exactly how you want, and the genes of that action have been properly passed down to this game too. From the position of both developer and fan, we're all working on Bayonetta 3, keeping these two bewitching aspects of the series in mind with the goal of surpassing all expectations. So what did you think of the new trailer? We sprinkled a lot of new elements throughout the frantic pacing. I'd like to talk a bit about one of those, a new featured mechanic that lets you control infernal demons called Demon Slave. Unlike the climax summons of previous games that automatically defeated enemies and returned to Inferno, this mechanic lets players control demons during gameplay and unleash a host of intuitive actions. Each demon's abilities vary, and the kinds of abilities that are advantageous in a certain situation can change at any time. Just how many are there? What else can you do? Well, there's a lot more I'd like to tell you, but I have to stop here for now. However, there's a lot of info hidden in the trailer that I didn't go into here, so please consider watching it again until the next announcement. We're in the home stretch of development right now, working on making the core of the game even more fun and test playing non-stop. As the accumulation of the series loved by all of you, we're giving our all to make it a masterpiece worth of the name of Bayonetta, so please wait and anticipate just a little bit longer. Once again, that was Yusuke Miyata. He is the new director of the Bayonetta series, with Bayonetta 3 in particular. Here is a message from Bayonetta 3 Executive Director Hideki Kamiya. Sorry to have kept you all waiting. It's been about 4 years since the announcement back in 2017. We really kept you waiting. In those 4 years, I'm sure people have had a lot of concerns like, what's happening with Bayonetta 3? Are they still working on it? When are we going to get some new news? But just as much as everyone wants to see Bayonetta 3 as soon as possible, all of us are working on it and have been burning to show it off just as badly. And without being able to hear any cheers from fans, we've buckled down and kept working for 4 years. Now we've finally been able to show the fruits of our labors, and the team can finally breathe a sigh of relief, and we'll be able to concentrate even harder on our work. It's been a long 4 years for us too. The impressions of everyone who saw the announcement will definitely energize us. There are still a lot of secrets about Bayonetta 3, but for now we'd like everyone to let your imaginations run wild from the trailer and get excited. With Bayonetta 3, I'm still overseeing the world and story, but in order to breathe some new life into the game, I've chosen Yusuke Miyata, a long-time and trusted co-worker, although he can be a bit of a goofball as a director, which might be a good thing. We've also the talents of directors Yuji Shimomura and Masaki Suzumura, helping us to bring unprecedented amounts of smiles, years, drama, humor, and sexiness to the movie scenes. And of course, Bayonetta's look has been handled by someone you might call her personal designer, Mari Shimazaki. This time, Bayonetta dances into the fray looking more fashionable and elegant than ever. So everyone, there's no need to worry. Bayonetta 3 is real, and the day when you'll be able to hold it in your hands and play is definitely coming. Rest easy and look forward to more info to come, because no matter how great your expectations may be, I promise we'll deliver an experience that exceeds all of them. Hideki Kamiya. And that is the big thing there. And that's why I'm excited. That's why I know that I can trust Platinum Games on this, especially when they start saying stuff like this. I mean, look at that last sentence there. If they didn't have a absolute banger of a game, there's no way Hideki Kamiya, a guy who's been making games for like 20 plus years at this point, a guy who has pioneered action games with Devil May Cry and also with Bayonetta as well, and has just done so much in this industry when it comes to this space. There's no way he's saying that, hey, like, we know you have great expectations, but we're going to exceed those. Usually that's a no-no for developers, and developers know that because people are crazy when it comes to it, but that's how good the Bayonetta series is. Remember, guys, if you look at this, Bayonetta is a franchise. There's 2 games. This is going to be the 3rd one here, obviously, with Bayonetta 3, but there's 2 games, and none of those games on their original release when it comes to target platform have less than a 90 on Metacritic. That is insane. It is a franchise with extremely high standards. And if you're looking at it from a Switch perspective, so if you got into Bayonetta when the games came to Switch, well, both of those games have 90 plus. Bayonetta 2 has a 92, Bayonetta 1 has like a 90. So both of these games are highly regarded. People have high expectations for them. And even if you pick up and play Bayonetta 2 to this day, you know, that is a game from the Wii U back in 2014. You can play that version, but the Switch version is the best one. Even if you go play that, that game still surpasses many action games made today. I would be hard pressed to find many games that are as good as Bayonetta 2 in the action realm. Now, obviously it's subjective, but for me, I play action games all the time. I've played all the new ones, I've played everything, and I'm still having trouble finding a game that I enjoyed more when it comes to total versatility and everything than Bayonetta 2. So I'm obviously a huge fan of it, and hearing these words from Hideki Kamiya and the new producer is definitely encouraging. Like, it's going to exceed our expectations. And even some of the stuff that I saw from the trailer, I've been watching it over and over, and yes, there's some really cool hidden things, but I wanted to focus on some of the cool stuff that's just from the beginning that they obviously wanted you to see, which was the demon swapping. They call it the demon slave here, and that's a great name for it because they're pretty much your slaves when it comes down to it with your wicked weaves, but now you actually get to freely control them, and there's a little bar that's actually showing how long they'll be able to stay out before you have to switch or before they recharge. So there is going to be some strategy that kind of plays into that, but it's all such a cool and unique mechanic. I mean, that's one of the coolest things that they added into Bayonetta 2 was the ability to kind of use those demons and have them for specific things or certain parts, but now being able to freely wield that seems just absolutely incredible from a gameplay standpoint. But looking at it from a developer standpoint and trying to get everything to run good and also look good, 60 frames per second, all of that, do whatever you need to do, make sure the environments are detailed enough, that was probably a very tall task, and I can see why this game took some extra time to do that. Because one thing with Bayonetta, guys, I mean, you have to have obviously a frame rate that's conducive of what Bayonetta players are looking for. You know, with Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U, it definitely dipped here and there. It was still very good, but it definitely dipped, and some fans necessarily didn't like that too much. But the game still, in terms of like the latency between the button presses and how everything worked, was still very solid. Bayonetta 2 cleaned that up, so people are expecting a similar experience when it comes to Bayonetta 2 and how it runs and everything, but they also want it to look better and have a bigger scope and scale. So I think that all of that is happening. I think that when you look at what they're doing just by the demon slave mechanic, that is already a bigger mechanic than anything Bayonetta 1 or Bayonetta 2 had. That right there is already a lot larger and harder to do in the scope of what Bayonetta does, because then you have to make environments that are that size, and you can't make it a gimmicky thing to where it only happens in just this one part or that part. You got to make it to where you use it somewhat regularly. So that was probably a challenge for them, and one of the things that I think that from what I saw, they executed that so brilliantly, and they were able to put that in, because I was even thinking, man, these parts are really cool, but it'd be dope if we can do them more in a more conducive way. And they nailed it. They nailed it from this trailer right here. So I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to seeing too what they do with the story, because there's already all sorts of theories going on. Is that Cereza? Is that not actually Bayonetta because of the debut CG trailer where Bayonetta kind of just like disappeared, or she kind of just like vanished or whatever? So are we playing as something else? Is there a time mechanism in play here? Like, what's going on because of the hair? So I think that there is a lot of intrigue. There is a lot of good stuff that's going to happen with this game. And I think that by the time that it does come out, you know, by the time that everything gets finished, I think it's going to look better. I think it's going to run better. I think it's going to play a lot better, because they're still now just fine tuning everything. They did state, because some people were trying to say, or at least I saw some of this stuff online saying that, oh, well, maybe they just started up maybe like last year or so, but they confirmed here that no, they've been working on it now for a number of years, and they're pretty much in the final stretch when it comes down to it. They're in the polishing phase and all of that. So it's a game that they have been working on. It's confirmed that they've been working on for multiple years now. So I'm excited, and I'm even more excited to bring you guys the latest information on Bayonetta 3 and all things Bayonetta. So look out for that. I will have more videos. But for right now, what do you guys think about Bayonetta 3 and what they're doing from the gameplay perspective, art style, graphics, and everything? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Make sure you check out the link below and check out our member page if you want to become one. Get you some cool perks, rewards, benefits, and Discord access. Also, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and we will see you guys for the next video. Peace.